Tonight on the WDW Fan Zone show, we share our park pet peeves at Walt Disney World, and there are quite a few. And we're not talking about the cast members. We love the cast members. We're talking about our fellow guests. Tonight we have the good guests here. We've got Darlene Nagy, Lottie Ferguson, Kurt, and myself, Stuart Sternberg, and we're going to get into it right now. So we've done a show on park pet peeves a long while ago. But what gave me the idea for this week was last week I happened to go to one of the parks, Epcot, pulled into the parking lot, got a decent spot, or what I thought would be a decent spot, or it was a decent spot. And three people get into the car as I'm slowly going through the aisle, and I was the next one up. Driver's in the driver's seat, passenger next to him, and someone in the back, and they're sitting there, and they're sitting there, and they're sitting there. And I finally opened the door to get out of my car to go over and say, "Hey, are you going out or are you staying here all night?" As soon as I opened my door to get out, they started to pull out. But it had to be a good 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all like, the time. You know what? It's not like they had to get a baby into a seat. I understand that, or an elderly person that needed assistance. It was probably somebody on the phone, or they were just busy BSing and didn't care.
I have to ask, how warm was it?
I'm sorry. It was warm out that night.
Because we've done that in the past where we literally sit there while the car's trying to cool off before we pull away. Never 5 minutes, though.
That's it was over 5 minutes, I think. But it was warm out that night, but it was night. It wasn't daytime where the sun's beating down on the car.
Well, there's no excuse then. Maybe they're too drinky.
That could be too. I don't know. It's that's another one of my park pet peeves.
Lottie and Darlene, are your pet
No. It's you know what? I'll give it right now. It's people that I've seen this before, and then Darlene, I know you have too.
They'll have a drink or two. I don't want people to think we think they're complete drunk off their tails.
I've seen adults with young children drunk off their tails in Epcot during food and wine. And not a pleasant sight.
No, it's not. It's not. People wiggling and wobbling with cars or whatchamacallits, baby carriages is not cute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, worse than that is we've heard from security guards, they have to go through the bags of the kids then, and that bottle of orange juice or the apple juice isn't apple juice, it's beer.
Oh yeah.
Apple juice doesn't foam like the beer does. And they're using their kids' bottle to bring beer in. Well, what if their kid gets a hold of that and actually starts to drink it?
Right.
Thinking it's apple juice.
Oh my.
Come on, people.
Recently, I mean, this has happened before, but I heard about this happened again after this got publicized. Somebody put a video up of parents trying to sneak a child that was over 2 into the parks recently, and it was within the last 6 months. It happened again within the last couple of weeks. The kid was clearly not even a preschooler that was being tried. Yep. Parents were trying to sneak into the parks. It was so obvious the kid wasn't 2 years old. And the woman was being pretty.
My son, who was 3, or my nephew that's 3, didn't even use a stroller at Legoland.
Wow.
So when I see kids in strollers and stuff, and people are trying to sneak them in like that, and they're clearly older, it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Oh, think about the cast members and security that have to stop these people. Look, I understand Disney costs a lot of money. If you can't afford it,
don't go.
Right, don't go. Don't go.
There you go. Don't go.
Last time we were down there, there was someone from South America, I believe it was. And they're walking their child in that was over 40 inches tall, trying to tell, oh, he's 2. He's 2. And they're like, he's too old. You need a ticket. No, he's 2. He's 2. Your son is tall enough to ride 3/4 of the attractions in the park. He's not 2. Don't tell us that.
But you know what? You know what I don't like? What I don't like is that Disney treats children that are 9 and over as adults.
Yeah.
I don't
That
like
I
that
don't
either.
like either. I think they should come up with an intermediate price for kids that, like maybe 10 and under you have for, you classify them as children. Maybe from 10 to 17, you
17.
classify them as teenagers, and
Teens.
have a,
Yep.
and have a separate price for them. That make it a
Yeah.
little easier on the parents that are bringing their children, young and old, to the parks.
I got less than 60 days before all 5 of us are adults.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I feel your pain because I know you're going to be paying through the nose on
Yeah.
for them.
Will you change your vacationing now?
She doesn't take her kids as much as she takes herself now. What do you mean?
There you go.
And you know what, Lottie, what you're doing, I think, is the right thing, because our kids we took with us every time we went, and it got to the point where they said to us, all we do is ever go to Disney. What else is there to see?
See, now, and my kids are like, okay, where's our next trip, or when is our next trip, and which resort are we staying at? They know it's their annual trip. They're like, is it going to be in May, or is it going to be June? Is it going to be July? When are we going, so they can plan accordingly? And we're taking it, we're appreciating it while we can. We got one graduating college. He's moving to Minnesota. We don't know how often he's going to be able to go with us anymore. So he says he'll go as long as we're paying, but I don't know. We're getting to a point where, come on now.
Yeah, that's how my daughter is now. She loves, when she comes down to visit us, she loves going, but it's like, are you paying?
I talked my daughter into getting a pass.
Well, can she? Oh, she's a DVC member. She can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another park pet peeve that I have is that Kurt comes every year.
Every year. Stuart, why aren't you at our door?
Not
Come on,
true.
get over here now.
That's not true. Nor is it true that another park pet peeve of mine is that there aren't enough people using Mouse Fan Travel. Well, I think it's true. There needs to be more people using Mouse Fan Travel. And I think the more people that use Mouse Fan Travel will discover what we've already discovered, that nobody plans vacations for their clients better than Mouse Fan Travel. They've got great deals going on now. And if you don't want to miss out on a great deal, you've got to go to their website, which is www.mousefantravel.com, and get an agent hooked up with you to plan your next trip. So once again, that's www.mousefantravel.com. So Lottie, I know you've got some really good ones.
Got a whole list.
Yeah. We should do a book.
I know, right?
Pet peeves.
Pet peeves.
Bad bus etiquette. Like, I already don't like being on the buses, but if you see somebody who needs a seat, get up.
Get up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go all the way to the back of the bus when you get on. Don't stop in the front. If you have to stand in the way so your rear end isn't in someone's face.
Correct.
If you have a stroller, maintain control of the folded stroller. Don't let it roll all over people. And I know you got to carry it, but you can hold on to it.
Absolutely.
Don't let it go anywhere.
Some years ago, I remember getting on a bus with, my family, and there was a family in front of us and an elderly couple in front of us, probably younger than me now, but at the time, but, no, I don't know if that makes sense, but an elderly couple. And the parent with their few young children said, get in the seats quick, like grab the seats before this old woman and old man could sit down.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Put the kid on your lap then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the last time I remember riding a bus is when the kids were really little. My wife got on with the 2 kids. I had the stroller. I went to walk in. As I went to go, I didn't even have a stroller because we did rental strollers. So it was just me trying to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman cut me off. And then another person and another. I'm like, I need to get on. And then the driver goes, I'm sorry, we're full. I go, my whole family is on that bus. And I just got completely cut off. I am separated from my family. And it was definitely overpacked. But
Yeah.
It's like, it's not fair. I know I let one person in and 5 people pushed their way in front of me. And now I'm being kept from getting on the bus with my family. And my wife's on there going, that's my husband. All these people forced their way in front of him. So, yeah, rental car. That's it. We're like, we are not doing the bus anymore.
But you know what? In fairness to the people that take the Disney buses, there are a lot of people that will get up and offer their seat to someone.
Mm-hmm.
The worst is when you see a pregnant woman there and nobody's getting up.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Now, what a pregnant woman is doing at Disney World, I don't know. I'm kidding.
My wife did it twice.
I did it once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think every parent has gone there at some point pregnant. Every woman, I should say. Be interesting if a man has gone there pregnant, but
my oldest son has been there every year of his life, including before he was actually born.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, just be kind to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Darlene, what's your biggest park pet peeve? Number 1 on your list.
Bathroom etiquette.
I've never had an issue with the bathroom.
Yeah,
it must be a woman's thing. I have no idea.
I think things go on in the bathroom that shouldn't, but not you know.
Well,
I just
like
feel,
where I think she's coming from.
I just feel bad for the cast members that got to go in there and they've got to clean, or they've got to, not every bathroom comes equipped with a manual flush or a
an automatic flush.
Just and that shouldn't be for a cast member to take care of for you.
Yeah, I didn't think that's exactly where you were going, but yeah, you're right. You see that in a lot of the men's room stalls; they just don't flush.
Yeah,
Courtesy flush. If you had too many bands, just courtesy flush.
Courtesy flush.
Right. Courtesy flush.
The other thing I could think of is my wife used to complain about. She'd be going to the bathroom, and now, granted, you got the doors that are closing, but when you come out of that stall, and there's a 7-year-old boy standing right there.
Yeah.
Because mom's like, wait right there. Your son is 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They can, you figure something out here with this one.
Family
because
restroom.
Go to the family restroom. You should not be bringing a 7-year-old son into the women's bathroom as they're walking around peeking in through the door cracks.
No, I did not see this at Disney. I saw this at an airport recently. Woman has her son go into the men's room by himself. Young also. I don't know if he was 7. Could have been a year or 2 older. She walks into the men's room because he didn't come out quickly enough. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
You walk into the men's room? If I was, in a position of compromise, I would have been fuming.
I was just at a festival recently, and a family of 5 went in, and one was a boy. He had to be a good 10 or 11 years old, walking in with his mother.
Now, that being said, in Canada, they have unisex bathrooms, but they're labeled unisex bathrooms. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
That was when I was like 14, 15. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I never expected that. But they were labeled accordingly.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, that doesn't happen in Disney World.
Right. If
like you said, go to the family restrooms.
Yep.
They are there.
Descriptive, but if I'm at a urinal, I don't want somebody coming in there that should not be in there.
Right.
Totally agree.
It's unreal. And you know what I can't stand too, and I have not seen this at Disney. People will, if you're in the stall, people will knock on the stall. Are you done yet?
No.
I've not seen that at Disney. I've had that happen at restaurants.
Maybe they're just checking to see if you're alive or not.
But it is annoying if you're waiting to go to the bathroom and you can hear someone watching a YouTube video.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, come on, really? There are people here,
right?
And the best part, they'll walk in there right before you, and now you're waiting a good 5 minutes because there's only a couple of stalls.
I want to know who the person is that goes into a stall will take more time than is necessary just because they feel like it. And who's the person that will knock on the stall to say, okay, get out?
I have had them and had to wait that long though, and as they walked out, kind of gave them a really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
video. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, really?
Since the show's going down the toilet.
Oh, it's already.
Sorry,
been
that was
flushed.
my biggest. You wanted my biggest pet peeve.
I did ask for it.
You did.
And it did bring up some good conversation, I think. Kurt, how about yours?
Okay, I'm going to start with my wife's before I get to mine. When you're in line for a while, and here comes someone behind you, taps you on the shoulder, and goes, "Excuse me, I'm just trying to get up to my family," and 10 people come with her. And now there's 10 people all walking in, and you know they were just on another attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know they were on the other attraction. So now they're forcing their way forward to get to that one person that's been waiting in line. And we're like, come on. I get it. If nature calls and you've got a little kid, that's one thing.
Right.
But
That's a
when
mother
all
and a
these
kid,
teenage kids come
Or a
walking
father.
over,
We've
Yeah.
had that happen to us there, where
Yeah.
we're right in front of us, as a matter of fact, where we're waiting there, and then all of a sudden there's like one or two people in front of us, and all of a sudden their children, their nephews, their niece, their
all the
brothers,
cousins,
sisters, uncles, aunts, they all come at once. Oh, that attraction was great.
Yep. That's exactly it. Like
And
I
they
said,
make no qualms about hiding it.
hey, I had a dad and his son. We were all walking on the flight of passage at the same time. They got to the bathroom thing, and the son's like, "Dad," and I'm like, "Go, I'll hold your spot. It's two of you. You're running to the bathroom. It's right there. That's why they installed the bathrooms. I get it. Go."
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Right.
And then when they came back, I'm like, they just had to go to the bathroom. If someone else kind of give them a dirty look, I go, I don't even know these people. I told them I hold their spot. That's two people, her son and his dad, running to the bathroom. When the entire herd comes walking over from
Yeah, I agree.
Space Mountain, and mom's in line for something else because she couldn't ride Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so awesome. Like you said, oh, no,
Don't do that. Yeah.
That's my wife's
Yeah.
pet peeve.
We've never done
Now,
that.
I've seen this also. And this, I don't mind this either. You know, where we've had parents in front of us with a couple little children, and one of the kids goes, "I'm really hungry," and the dad or the mom will take them off the line to get a snack and come back. That I don't mind. Or they'll go themselves to get the snack and bring it back to the child. I
Completely
don't mind
different
that either.
situation. Right.
It's just when groups come up because they
Right.
had somebody holding their place because they went on another attraction.
Right.
Yeah.
Line jumpers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No line jumpers.
How about
That was my wife's.
I've seen this a lot. I've seen this a lot in the Muppet Vision 3D, although I haven't seen that place get packed lately. When I say lately, I haven't been on it in months, but that's one of my favorite attractions in Hollywood Studios. People will go, they'll say, okay, move all the way to the end. People will stop in the middle, or they'll go 3 seats in and take 2. They'll put a couple of seats in between them, leave them empty. It's just like, are you kidding?
Mickey's
Mhm.
Filler Magic.
Disrespectful to everyone else.
That drives me nuts. That Monsters Inc. lab floor.
Yep.
Yep. Mickey's Filler Magic. It's notorious.
Yes.
They go
Oh,
halfway,
yeah,
they
that's
stop.
another one that's
Mickey's
a big
Filler
issue.
Magic
You got
and,
crawlers for the whole family.
Muppet Vision. And then they just
Right.
stop. And the
Here's
people in
the
front are like,
Congress.
keep moving. Move.
Anything with a show. People
Yep.
do it all the time.
Yep. And then the poor guest members like, please move to the end of the row. Please continue on.
Now, one thing I don't like that cast members do, and it's not their fault. They're told to do this, and I'll give The Lion King as an example. The row is pretty packed.
Oh, yeah.
And they tell everybody, squeeze together. You know what? We still have COVID out there.
I know.
I don't need to get that familiar with somebody I don't know.
Right?
It's 98 degrees, and this person that you're wanting me to squeeze next to forgot to put on deodorant. I really am on top of them already.
They've been sweating for 3 hours. I don't want to say.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's the worst.
Kurt, they put on deodorant. It's their perfume. It's called natural body odor.
Eau de toilette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
but
and the worst, and honestly, and this is, I'm allergic to smoke. I'm very sensitive to smoke. And there have been times where they make someone basically sit in your lap. And if you smell like an ashtray, I literally will start getting a migraine. And it's one of those, I can't sit this close. I will have a migraine by the time this is done. It's just too sensitive with my allergies, but sometimes you have to make do.
Speaking of, sorry, Darlene. One second, we'll get back to you. I apologize. I've seen cast members lately get more and more forceful. When I say forceful, or more demonstrative with guests that are vaping in the parks. They're actually going up to them and telling them, "You can't do it here."
Good.
Yeah, sorry, Darlene. Go ahead.
I seen one person slip behind Space Mountain's exit, or not Space Mountain, Buzz Lightyear. And between Carousel of Progress, the wife, he says to the wife, "I think this is a good spot." And I was on the phone, and I'm like, because I was waiting for my cousins to come out of the ride, and there was people relaxing, taking a break, sitting down. The guy went behind the bushes, and the poor cast member who's playing with the remote control car out in front was kind of trying to like watch what he was doing. But then he got interrupted and by a guest and couldn't, do anything. But the guy was definitely smoking a cigarette back there.
yeah.
And it's like, and then you seen a girl vaping. This was in Magic Kingdom. I'm like,
Smoking and not
smoking.
smoking.
You can't wait.
The cast members are getting less tolerant of it because it's not allowed in the parks, and I'm glad to see that.
No.
They're putting themselves in danger because you don't know how these guests are going to respond.
Right.
Well,
It's kind of like the whole thing back when we had to wear the masks. Please put your mask up. No, this is cut and dry. This isn't a political thing where they tried to do that with the mask, making it political. This is cut and dry. There was no smoking in the park.
No smoking in the parks.
Yeah.
Designated area.
Vaping.
Now, what I would suggest for people to do, you see somebody vaping or smoking in the park, rather than approach them yourself, just go to the cast member and say, polite, "Are you allowed to vape in the park or smoke?" And they're gonna say no. And then you could just say, "Well, you might want to look over there," and point to where the person is discreetly and let them handle it.
I don't even point. I just kind of go, "Yeah, trees next to Carousel of Progress." Nice little smokers powwow going on, by the way. FYI.
Yeah.
It's bad show, especially if you tell them it's bad show, because that's not good. They know exactly what that means. So.
Yeah.
Years ago, drinking in the park was never a problem with guests getting drunk, and you don't really see it that often, but when you do see it, it's just like, okay, how did this happen? Because
there are places you can buy alcohol now. I mean, you can still purchase alcohol. I think there's 2 restaurants in the Magic Kingdom where you can buy alcohol.
Yes. Aren't they expanding that?
Is it being expanded now? Because Skipper's Canteen,
right,
and Peeves Castle,
and Plaza Restaurant.
Oh, Plaza is now as well.
I thought. What about Be Our Guest? I thought you could there as well. I could be wrong about that.
Be Our Guest, and I think Cinderella.
Yeah, that was the second one. Cinderella wasn't.
Cinderella is not one, but you can't open carry. You're not leaving.
No, and they limit you to 2 drinks.
Yeah.
The bigger problem is World Showcase than anywhere else. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's because everyone's drinking their way around the world.
Yeah.
You can't make it, people. You're gonna make it halfway around and be so sloshed it's not even funny. It's physically impossible to make it.
And you know what? It's not college kids. It's not teenagers doing this.
No, it's not. It's people that know better that are like, I can make it. No, you can't. There are not enough hours in the day. I'm sorry.
Right?
Nope, not enough.
Yeah.
And I literally mean that, the truth. There's not enough hours in the day for you to have that area is not open for 12 hours. There's
Right.
maybe because there's how many pavilions? There's 11.
Mhm.
So because there's room for 13, there's 11 that are there. That park is there's not enough. You
Can
cannot
you-
drink. You're going to be drinking more than one drink an hour. That's all there is to it. You're just not
Let's
going to
put it
make it.
this way: you spent $140 to get into the park.
You want to remember?
All right, you spent that. You're spending how much on a drink? About $8 a drink.
8 to 10, maybe 12.
$20 in Mexico for a good margarita.
All right, so
Well,
let's say
there you go.
$20 a
Which is
drink.
like 3 or 4 drinks in itself with all
Right.
the alcohol they put in
So
there.
now you're over 200, closing in on $300. You're not enjoying yourself in the park because you drunk off your rear end.
Right.
Good way, good thing to do, you stupid fool.
And then the next day, that's going to be ruined too because you're going to be so hungover.
Yeah.
The other thing, I feel good.
And it's hot and alcohol and heat and dehydration and
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Oh,
think
thank
Disney should do? Open up a back area when people get drunk, throw them in there, and just have barf bowls for them, and leave them there the rest
oh,
of
that
the
would
day.
smell awful.
No. Yeah, I was going to say that'll waif its way out into the World Showcase. And I don't need to smell that.
No,
And you can close it in so nothing gets out, and they have to sit there and suffer with it.
it's disgusting.
No.
But then again, they're punishing themselves enough by getting to that state. So.
They can do that in Disney jail, wherever the Disney jail is behind the scenes that we don't know
Yeah.
about.
And there is a Disney jail, so don't think
Yeah.
there's not.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
It's
I got one.
Yeah, I know you've got some.
We got more.
Stopping in the middle of the walkway, standing in the way, just like in an intersection, in places where you know traffic needs to pass,
Mhm.
and you just stand there.
Yep.
Pull
Yep.
off to the side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like
You know
around those signs in Epcot for the menus, people sit there and they plan out their entire menu
Oh
and
yeah.
they don't move.
Yep.
It's one thing if you're off to the side, but it's when you're standing right in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you know what? If there's somebody who is, how can I put this? If someone has a disability of some sort, if someone has, you know, an issue that just happened right there, and it's taking them time to move out of the middle, but they're trying, I'm okay with that, and I'll even help them if they need it.
Right.
But just don't stand there and have a conversation in the middle. And what I can't stand is, and I saw this not that long ago, it was a few months ago in Animal Kingdom, 2 young couples with 2 double strollers walking side by side.
Slowly.
Absolutely. Walking slowly side
then
by side,
stopping.
carrying on a conversation, stopping, going, and not giving a rat's rear end about anybody else in the park that had to get by.
Mm-hmm.
Or you leave the carousel, not the carousel progress, you leave the people mover and you get down to the end of the moving walkway and you just stand.
Yeah.
Everybody has
Where
to
would you like us to go? It's plowing us into you. Where you want us to
Yes.
do? Yeah, I got a dirty look when there was all these people behind me. They stopped right there and I had to go fast. And she gave me a really dirty look. I'm like, ma'am, they're running me over. You can't stop here. And at that point, the husband's like, I told you to get over here. It's like, thank you.
And you know what I can't stand too? It's the parents that'll take their strollers and they're on the wrong side of traffic and they're aiming right for you and they don't care. You have to get out of their way.
Yeah.
And the ECVs,
There you go.
you know,
They just
I know quite a few
drive.
people that have them that are
Yeah.
respectful, but there are some that are not.
No, well, and part of the problem, like you said, the ECVs, there's a reason why they got rid of the disability pass or just, hey, if you're in an ECV, you can go in through this back area, because there were 30-year-olds that were like, oh, I'll pay the extra money for the ECV, and then we'll just use this as a quick pass to get through, which is wrong. But the other problem with the ECVs is, here's my at the time she was 75, 80-year-old mom driving the ECV. Little old ladies should not be driving ECVs in a crowded area. They can't see. They're looking over here to figure something out and running right in the back of all those people with the strollers. We're very sorry. We'd like to apologize about our mom's behavior right now. She was a rookie at the time. She wasn't very strong at it. She's at 90. She's a much better driver now.
Yeah,
And then people park the strollers and the ECVs in the wrong place. There's a sign that clearly says
Where to park.
Parking.
here. Why are you?
I like the guys that walk right up to Haunted Mansion too with the stroller, and they're like, "You need to park the stroller there," and the guy goes with his stroller and walks away. It's like, you know, you can't walk a stroller all the way up.
yeah, yep.
Is this your first ride of the day? I highly doubt it that you ran all the way to Magic Kingdom to go to Haunted Mansion.
You know, there were people that need to be in the ECVs. There were children that there's a reason they're in
True.
strollers. You know, they're babies or they're toddlers, or you know, sometimes you have a kid who can't handle walking all day long. Fine, okay, just respect the rules. And most people do. It's the small percentage that don't, that ruin it for everyone else.
Right.
And that's always the case. It's like the one or two people out of the thousands that are there in the park that day that are respecting the rules, that don't respect the rules. Those are the one or two people you remember forever.
Yeah.
All right, Lottie, what else you got?
People who hold up tablets and record the shows and fireworks.
You mean
Over
Kurt?
the top. Okay. No. No. When I do it, if I've got it, it's literally on a tripod that is standing no taller than my head.
I was
Standing, and I'm
about that.
standing right behind it. Well, no, because what she's saying is exactly what my pet peeve is. Well, close. I have had people in front of me. I'm like, okay, I can see over the top of this guy that's 6'2". All of a sudden, again, I just got to get over here. I just want to give a message to my friend over here. Here comes somebody with their little kid. The guy's already 6'2". You can hold your child right here. Hold them up so they're the same height as you and see just fine. Oh, no. Up on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Blocking the view for everyone. And everyone behind me is like, because I made some comment about it one time. The guys behind me were like, people don't do that. And someone one up, he's like, oh my God, I can't see anything either. Because he thought it was just me complaining about the video. I go, no, I cannot. I can see the fireworks fine. We can't see anything now that's going on the anything that with the projector. And when you say something to them like, excuse me, we can't see, 9 times out of 10, their response is, oh, come on, this is for the kids. I really wanted to enjoy this. I am one of the adults that really enjoy this, whether I'm videotaping or not, because half the time I'm not really videotaping, especially now. I really don't need it anymore. I want to see the show. And if you're just throwing your kid out and everything's being blocked, it kind of ruins the magic for the other people. So don't be the selfish person.
I've had people where I'm at Casey's Corner to watch the fireworks.
Yeah. Okay.
Right in front, like they'll cut in front of you, and then they start to like lean back into you. Like, I'm not here. You don't see me here. And you know, I'll say excuse me once. I'll say excuse me the second time. The third time, you're going down. And that actually happened.
So we're getting back to football years.
Not that I don't want to make it sound like I'll push somebody down, but the last time I said, if you do it again, I'm going to get security, and you won't be here anymore.
Yeah. I understand that.
It's just like that infuriates me when they do that. It's like, but the worst is when they put the kid on the shoulders. They cut in front of you at the last second and put the kid on the shoulders.
And then put the kids on their shoulders.
Yeah, I'm okay. If somebody leans into me, it's an accident. Fine, okay, it's an accident. But when you're doing it and you don't care, it's all about you. You
Was
don't belong there.
Was I with you that one time we were on Main Street?
Yes, you went with Michelle to get a hot dog.
Yeah. And I'm standing there and there was nobody in front of me. Everybody was like little people. All of a sudden, these 4 huge guys came and stood right in front of me. I'm like, oh, there goes my fireworks. I can't see a blessed thing.
My wife's first trip there, we were standing there. We were standing behind the garbage can on purpose. We were standing there watching the parade. Someone comes from the back, brings their kid over and sits him on top of the garbage can. My wife turned around, looked at him and goes, "Excuse me?" And he's like, the same thing. Well, it's for the kid. She couldn't see. We've been here for 45 minutes waiting to be able to see. We purposely went here so kids could sit in the front. And now you plopped your child. It was like an 8-year-old kid right on top of the garbage can in front of us.
Yeah.
They're like, that not only is that not safe and not sanitary, that's just outright rudeness. You're cutting in front of other people just so that your child can see better.
There was one time that I saw, it was an older mother and father with a young adult child that was there. They got there in plenty of time to see the fireworks. And I could tell from where they were standing, people were going to start crowding in front of them. And you could see they were getting frustrated and not doing anything about it. And it's like finally somebody actually said to the people that kept pushing them out of the way, it's like, hey, these people have been here for a while.
Right.
It's like somebody had to step in to save them because they didn't want to say anything. It's just, it's not all about you. There were other people there. Just be respectful. I don't care if somebody stands in front of me. I don't care if somebody stands to the side of me. As long as you don't put your child on your shoulders, as long as you don't push into me, purposely push into me to hope that I'll move out of the way so you can get that entire spot.
It's the ultimate horror story with that. Okay. So we're standing there waiting for, this is back when they did the icicle lights. We're standing in front of, it used to be there was a metal iron fenced off area that went around the partner statue with all the flowers in there. So we were standing there and I moved forward a little bit because people kept pushing their way in front of us. So I was trying to video and take some pictures and stuff like that. That's when we were doing the blog. So I was standing next to this other guy. While we're standing there, I'm standing next to him. He was right next to the flowers because he was 6'2". He was going to put his kid up on his shoulders. He's like, I won't block anyone if I'm here. Being courteous the way it was supposed to be. My wife and 2 kids were standing next to him because they were standing behind me so we could all see. Because at that point, my kids were taller than me. So here we are. This guy comes running past, like pushed his way back behind me with his little 3-year-old daughter. And she's like, Daddy, I gotta go. He literally picked her up, sat her on that metal railing and said, go.
Wow.
The guy behind me turns, looks, and he goes, what are you doing? And he goes, she needed to go. And he's like, the bathroom's over there. Well, that's okay. She's just peeing in here. He goes, no, she's not.
It's not okay.
They don't stream down. This girl peed all over this guy's leg, streaming down this guy's leg. And she turned a little bit and it got onto my wife's shoe. My wife is like, you have got to be kidding me. It's a story. I mentioned it to my wife tonight and she goes, I don't want to hear the story. I think you need to tell the story. But that is one trip I never want to relive ever again.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was horrible.
Wow.
Horrible. We would never, it was a Thanksgiving trip. This was 10 years ago. It was a 10-year ago Thanksgiving trip.
Oh my God.
Apparently they must live in the woods.
Again, we don't want to miss the lighting because their dad's saying we didn't want to miss the lighting, and he's like, it's not the end of the world. Your daughter's not enjoying herself, and you're making a big deal out of this. Does your daughter not want to miss this, or do you not want to miss this? Right. I thought the guy was just going to punch him in the face. I really did. I felt so bad. My wife's like, we're leaving now. I'm like, what happened? Because I didn't know what happened. Wow. And my son had to tell me the story, and he's like, I stayed clean. But he goes, that was bad. We were not happy.
All right, who wants to go next? Because I have.
Sorry, that is our worst fireworks / people jumping and pushing their way around in the crowds ever story. Mm-hmm. But it's a story that I kind of been sitting on that one for a while. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's horrific.
Come on, people,
That-
just go to the bathroom.
As a parent, what are you teaching your child?
Right? I don't get it.
It's like, yeah, it's. And speaking of parents, there are parents that need parenting themselves.
Right.
You're in a store. It could be, it's a Disney. I've seen this at Disney World. I've seen this many times outside of Disney World. Parents bring the kids over to the toy area there, and they walk away. We'll come back for you, and then just leave the kids.
Right. Yeah.
Like, really?
Well, I was at that park we don't talk about much.
It's kind of universal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's universally prohibited from being talked about on the show.
Well, there were parents that actually let their kids go through Seuss Landing all by them lonesome. They followed us around. They were all like 10, 11, 12. Just random, just go.
Well,
And the cast member asked, "Where are your parents?" And they were like, "Oh, she's having coffee."
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen that, I've seen that questioned at Disney World. There was a like 11, 12-year-old girl walking with her little brother who was 5 or 6, going on the Space Mountain because the mom couldn't ride the attraction. So she goes, "You guys go. I'm going to wait out here. I'll catch you at the end." And they got right through in the beginning. I don't know if they thought they were with us or what, but then when we got all the way up to the front, they're like, "Where's your mom and dad?" "Oh, it's okay. They sent us in to ride the attraction." They're like sizing him up. They're like, "How old is he?" "Oh, he's 5, 6, whatever." They're like, I don't remember if they let him in or not. I really don't remember.
Many years ago, this happened at Quest. If you guys remember Quest,
Disney Quest.
Disney Quest, yeah.
I was in there with my family. My kids must have been 10, 11 around the time, maybe 13 and 10, or 11 and 9, whatever it was. Not 11, 11 and 8. So we're in Disney Quest, and this kid starts hanging out with my son, and it's like, "Where's your father or mother?" "Oh, I'm just here with my father." "Well, where's your father?" "Oh, across the street at a bar."
He's at the bar.
Not even in Disney Quest, across the street in a bar. And he got into Disney Quest because the father probably walked him in.
Dad brought him in and left.
Walked out.
There were several times when Disney Quest was part of your ticket, I'd go in there. Again, we went there when my wife was pregnant. She's off napping. I'm going to go check out Disney Quest and see if there's anything new. I can't remember the number of times I walked in there, just kids on their own, all sorts of kids on their own. It's like, I get it. You go to your lobby arcade at your hotel alone when you're that age, but you shouldn't be letting kids go into Disney Quest alone. That's not safe.
Yep. Yeah, it makes you wonder what the parents' upbringing was like, that they allow themselves to do that to their own children. It boggles my mind. It just boggles my mind.
Yeah.
I don't understand. You have parents that will not let their children out of their sight for a second, which I think is not good either. But then you have parents that don't give a rat's rear end about their own kids, and they'll let them run into traffic without watching them.
Yeah. It's one thing once you've got high school kids, it's like, you want to go to the park? Okay. Yeah. Go hit this attraction. We'll catch up with you.
Right.
They're in high school. I think they can handle it. They can drive a car on their own. I think they can handle it, but not a little kid.
Nope. And Disney, the one good thing about Disney, they've got security cameras and security everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do something you shouldn't be doing, like pleasuring, two people pleasuring
each other,
I was going to say it that way. I was going to put it a little nicer than that. But since you said that, yes.
Public displays of affection. How
Yeah,
about
that's
That
a good way to put it. You're going to
extreme
get
public
caught.
displays of affection.
Yeah, you're going to get caught. You're going to get either reprimanded or thrown out. And it happens time and time again because nobody realizes that Big Brother is watching you at Disney.
Right.
Always. And if you don't believe they can zoom in on you,
They can.
don't they still take that picture from the top of
The
the
castle.
confectionery, and it
Oh,
goes
yeah.
all the way down and it zooms in on you and then it backs out?
They do it
I'm
in
telling you,
Epcot
they
too.
got some strong cameras.
You
Yeah.
know darn well they can do it anywhere.
Well, and people attempt to do it on the Wedway People Mover. And right away they're like, hey, we're watching. Look, we can see inside of there. They have, again, their night vision. They can see everything that's going on.
Mhm.
Don't even attempt it.
Yep.
Mm.
They used to, I don't know if they do anymore, over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they used to tell you, please make sure you are closing your drapes because they have night vision cameras there because they have to because of the animals.
Mhm.
They used to say,
Oh.
please make sure you close your drapes because we're not trying to spy on you and we don't want you to think that we are.
Yep. When they tell you please stand clear of the closing doors, it doesn't mean it's safe for you to do what you want when those doors close.
Right. Oh, good golly.
Oh, boy. I'm trying to think. I had another one. I can't remember what it was now.
Glitter bugs.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
we
that was
talked
on
about
my
that
list
story.
too. That's not what I was thinking of right now, but yeah, go ahead. Talk about litter bugs.
There's a freaking trash can 10 paces away.
30
Take it to the
steps.
trash can. Don't throw it on the ground.
Mhm.
Every 30 steps.
Like I saw someone actually in the creation shop, just like the kid just like tipped over the whole Starbucks, like right there. And then the mom
Mhm.
just looked at it and kept walking. Like there's a cast member over there. Could you alert somebody that your child just made a mess? Could you stand there maybe and make sure people don't slip on it?
Yeah. Nope.
I watched a kid tried to throw something in the garbage can and he missed. He went to bend over to pick it up and she grabbed his hand and yanked it away and said, they have people to do that.
Oh,
The
my
kid tried to
No
pick it up.
way.
No, I'm like,
See,
and I picked
this-
it up. And the kid looked at me and goes, thank you. Because I was right behind him. I picked it up and I threw it out. He goes, thank you. So
you
the
just
kid
taught-
was polite. It was the mom.
Yeah, you just taught your kid it's okay to litter.
They
Right.
have people that clean up. That's their job. They have custodians here.
Oh,
They'll pick up after
God.
you.
You know
That's
what?
what their job is.
You know, people think because they're on vacation or they're in Disney that they can do whatever they want because they're paying so much money, and that the people that are hired to do that job want to do that. They want to clean up. They're there just to clean up your mess. Throw it on the ground with the trash can a few inches away. That's okay because that's what they get paid for, to pick up your crap.
Those
leave
people are the
tray-
same people that complain. They complain because
Oh, my
it's too
God.
dirty.
Leave the trays on the tables. You know, if you're at
Yep.
you
I
know
hate
go to
that.
quick
Bill.
service. Yeah, just pick up your tray and throw your stuff away.
You know what?
I know,
I've had
right?
cast members come up to me as I'm going to throw out my trash, and they say, "Oh, I'll take it for you." If they do that, that's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But you're on your way there. Just don't leave it on the table. You're right. I hate people that do that.
Mhm.
They left their stuff. And we had people leave their stuff on the table. We thought they were still there, and we're walking around looking for somewhere to go. We had the cast member come up and go, they just left. I'm like, are you sure their stuff? They're like, no, we watched them just walk out the door. Give us 2 minutes. We got to go and clean. We'll clean the table off. They're like, you don't want to eat here yet. They're like, we've been watching this family. You do not want to eat there. Let us clean it up for you. Which is what that's nice for the cast members to say, but they shouldn't have to.
They should
Right.
pick up your stuff. Don't leave your stuff on the table.
That being said, don't ever just eat on a regular table. Make sure you eat on your tray.
Yeah.
Some napkins down.
A lot of times I still carry like wet ones and
wipes.
stuff with me
Yeah.
to wipe off
Yeah.
or disinfectant,
Yeah.
like a
Or you
spray
take-
to wipe.
Pick a napkin and you clean.
Yeah.
Right. Since that was one of the good byproducts of COVID was we started throwing wet wipes in there.
Mhm.
because of
Mhm.
that. And
Yeah.
we actually find ourselves cleaning more of the tables
Yeah.
now. It's like, this is good to have in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, to all the people who think they're privileged once they walk through Disney World or any other place, they're
Anywhere.
not. Stop acting like you are and
Yeah.
don't come back to Disney World. We don't want you there. If you can't clean up after yourselves,
You know,
maybe you should take some classes on how to clean
Right.
and how to behave in crowds of people.
Right.
Don't come to the parks and ruin it for the rest of us.
yeah.
Right.
Boy, it just, and I think the theme here has been it's not the kids, it's the parents of these kids.
Parents.
But those kids are going to be parents someday too. What are you telling your kids it's okay to be like?
We'll
Now,
just-
again, go ahead, Lottie.
no,
No.
go ahead.
You're there to have fun with kids, and they're little kids. I've
Mhm.
had people say to me, "Are you going for the kids or going for yourself?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going for myself. The kids along for the ride." But that being said, that's when the kids were little. It's like, look, we're taking pictures. Yeah, the kids will remember stuff from the pictures. That being said, you can't go commando to the park open to close when you got a little kid. Okay, you shouldn't have a 5-year-old kid at the park at 1 o'clock in the morning and then try to do a rope drop the next day. I know
Right.
people that have done that, and then they're upset at the kid for getting upset.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the kid's upset because he's got no sleep and
Mhm.
he's an emotional wreck because there's no emotions. He's exhausted.
Yeah.
I paid all this money to be here. You're gonna enjoy this.
Yep.
You better have fun. You stop
Yeah.
crying right now.
I've
You're in the
seen
happiest
parents
place
have
on earth.
meltdowns too. I'll never forget. I think I've told this story before. It was in Magic Kingdom in Adventureland, and I don't remember the attraction. I think it was Peter Pan, but I could be wrong. It's been that many years ago.
That's
And
Fantasyland.
the father goes to the kid, "You have to go to the bathroom." No, they get online. They're moving in the line. They're, I don't know how far in the line they were. I don't remember. All of a sudden, the kid goes, "I have to go to the bathroom." And the father had a meltdown. "I just asked you. You said no. Now you have to go." Oh my God. It was just like, are you going to let the kid be in his pants or are you going to take him to the bathroom? The kid is 5.
Well, no, as a parent when our 3-year-old found one time when he was nervous about something, he told my wife, "I need to go to the bathroom." So then we would make him go ahead of time. We would make him go. We would watch him to make sure he goes.
Yep.
And we get to another attraction. If it was something he was nervous about, I go, "I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom." My wife would be like, "Not this time." It's like, "This is my favorite attraction. You just went. You'll be fine." And he
Yeah, but
was.
your
So
wife
depending on what the
about this
situation
whole
is.
thing. This father was a mad raving lunatic with his kid.
Well, I guess there's a difference. But yeah, there are times where a kid will get nervous about something, and because they don't know what it's going to be like, and it's like, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. There's no reason for you to go to the bathroom. So,
Yeah.
gotta love potty training. Now, yeah, I don't. It does get better. Those of you that are there with toddlers, it will get better. Till you get too old, and then it's the grandmother that's going, "I need to go to the bathroom."
Now on a good note, though, since, we'll get back to the park peeves in a second. On a good note is, if you're standing on a line and it's taking forever, I've seen people in my group, I've had other people start conversations with people in front of them, behind them, and you start getting to know people. And you know what? Most people are really nice people that come to the parks.
Mhm.
And you make friends that way too.
Mhm.
Just a brief moment.
I guess it depends on the situation, because my wife always gets mad when I start talking to other people. I'm like, I'm not injecting myself into their conversation. The guy looked at me and he goes, "Right?" So I'm like, "Yeah." When then we started talking about something. So I mean, I talked again. There was a guy and his son when I went back alone to ride Flight of Passage. We talked like 45 minutes because there was nothing else to do. And we got to the front. It was kind of like, well, they're sending us this way. You're going. Nice chatting with you. It's like, see ya. So,
Yeah.
you do have some nice conversations. It is a nice thing.
Yep. Anybody else have anything on their list that we haven't discussed yet?
I still got more.
Okay, good. Keep
Go
it
for a
rolling.
Lottie.
People that show up at the park sick and don't even care.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh.
cough and sneeze all over everybody in line. And
Yep.
they don't care.
No, they
You're
don't.
sick, stay home, stay in the room if you got sick down here.
True story. This happened a couple of weeks ago. My daughter came to surprise me for my birthday. So on her flight coming down, there was a girl sitting behind her. They were on their way to whether it was the parks at Disney or that other park that we don't talk about. Starts to throw up.
Oh no.
My daughter freaked out. The stewardesses on the, or flight attendants, whatever they call them now, were nice enough to move my daughter to another seat far away from them. But it's like you're on your way to wherever, whether it's Disney or someplace else. You're going on vacation. You spent all that money. You know they're not going to miss it. And no matter how sick their kid is, they just shove them on the plane. We're going anyway. How many
Sometimes
people do they
that's
have to? I'm sorry?
You don't know the full context of that. I
No,
know
you
people
don't.
that get sick on a plane. There's a
The
reason why
plane
they've got a
hasn't taken off
protein bag on the plane.
Plane hadn't taken off yet.
Doesn't matter. They're just nervous about being on the plane.
That could be. But how many times have you heard of people coming to the park sick?
Yeah.
They come to the park sick because the parents paid all that money, or they paid all that money for themselves. They don't care if they're sick or not, or their kids are sick.
They don't care.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
take 2 Tylenols sit here in the stroller.
And everybody else, we're going to go to those parks and spend that money rather than postpone it and come another time.
Yep.
Right.
Mm.
Hey, we got off a Disney Cruise Line once. My wife was sick on the boat. The next day was it was 2 days later. My son ended up. It was whatever the stomach bug that you always tend to catch on a boat, and
I get lucky.
Yeah, he got it. He got it as we were leaving, and we got to our hotel room, and she looked at me and my younger son and said, "You two, out, go." She goes, "I will stay here with him. He is sick," and he didn't want to go anywhere. He did not want to go anywhere, and he's like, for a half second, I was kind of disappointed, but I was so sick. The last thing I wanted to do was actually walk around the park.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some years ago, when in Toontown, there was a little playground for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my kids were in the playground, and you know how little kids are. They were really little at the time. They touch everything. Well, the next day, my son got conjunctivitis. How did he get it? It had to be there.
It had to be there.
We narrowed it down to every place he had been. It had to be there because someone else was in that park with it and didn't care.
Yep. They let their kid play there, and exactly.
Yeah, we Charlotte, when Charlotte and I did the Mommy and Me trip, we got to Animal Kingdom. We weren't there 20 minutes, and she said, Mom, I don't feel good. I don't want to be at the park today. So what did I do? I took her straight to Expedition Everest. No, we went back to the hotel room. We went back to the hotel, and it just ended up that she was just tired. She needed some sleep. We got a good nap.
Yeah.
We got heat exhaustion. We got a good nap. We stayed in the room and watched TV. We did some shopping. We got in the pool at the resort. She was just fine the next day.
Yeah. Right. You can even go. I mean, you had your ticket. Technically, we've had our kids where they were like that, just exhausted altogether, and then that evening they're like, "Can we go back? I just want to go back and eat and just walk around a little bit. Just take it light, But you did the right thing. It's if you force them to go onto the stuff, even when they got a stroller and you're forcing them,
no,
that kid's not having fun.
No.
Now more than ever, you notice people coughing or sneezing in the parks, and there's reasons for that. Where you might not have noticed it so much a few years ago, and it's just part of what we're all going through because of the pandemic. Is it serious? We don't know. But if your kid is really sick, don't bring him to the park. If you're really sick, take time away. Do something else. That's not going to affect anybody else. But people don't care. They spent all that money. They're going to get their money's worth.
Mhm.
and the hell with everyone else.
A year ago when Lottie was down in Florida and somehow she might have contracted something from somebody in one of the parks. Friend of mine was there at the exact same time, Lottie. He had to drive home feeling that way.
Mm.
Drove the entire about halfway back. He started feeling it over at some Universal park the next day. And he's like, it just got its nasty head cold, and it just kept getting progressive. He was a runny nose. He's like, I caught something. It's not that big of a deal. By the time he made it halfway home, he's like, I need to stop and get. He's messaging me from Burger King, going, "What were your symptoms?" And I started telling him. He's like, he stopped and he got a test kit. Sure enough, he had it. He drove himself home. The rest of his family was flying. He had driven down. He didn't fly. I don't know if he just doesn't like to fly or what it was, but here's this poor guy literally stuck. Luckily, it was isolated. No one else in his family caught it. Isolated, having to drive himself all the way home though with COVID that he caught at the park because, someone's like, "Oh no, just the sniffles. It's nothing."
That's why still, even at the parks, if I go indoors,
hands, boys and girls.
My mask goes on if I'm indoors. I'll walk through a gift shop if I'm going to walk through like quickly and get out of there. If I'm going to be there for like 30 seconds, I'm not going to take it out and put it on. But if I'm going to be someplace for a while indoors, not eating, if I'm in a restaurant eating, I'm not wearing a mask. You can't eat with a mask on. But I'll put it on just as a precaution. I was a germaphobe before this whole mess started.
I constantly have hand sanitizer attached to whatever bag I'm carrying. Yep. I don't care.
And Darlene knows I'm constantly putting hand sanitizer.
Yeah, we will when we're walking through the parks. If we're walking through stuff,
I can do it on
the rail or something. As soon as we get on whatever the attraction is, there comes a hand sanitizer in our hands.
Get out.
Yeah, I don't want to tell people what they should or shouldn't do in terms of keeping themselves immune from certain things. That's entirely up to them. But you have to do what you think is going to make you feel comfortable. But at the same time, people who are not feeling well, that know they have something, even if it's not serious, take precautions so you don't get someone else sick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm in an enclosed car all day with students, and I'll have a kid get into the car, and if the kid's like not coughing in a sleeve or something, it's like, please tell me that you are sure that this is just oh yeah, don't worry, I took 3 COVID tests, and I'm like, okay, because we're in an enclosed vehicle. I'm sitting within 3 feet of you, and if have a little courtesy because you're not wearing a mask. If you think you're sick, that's when you want to put a mask on, but nothing. Nothing. It happens all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. All right, Lottie, more pet peeves. Let's keep it going.
Photo pass, photo bombers.
Right.
You're sitting there, you're taking a photo pass picture. You're going to have to pay for that picture. Mm-hmm. And you got some idiot in the back that jumps in and does something ridiculous on purpose. That's happened more than once. That just annoys.
I don't think I've ever had that happen yet. Luckily.
Oh, yeah.
Knock on wood.
Well, you know what I've seen happen? I haven't seen that happen, but what I have seen happen is the photo pass photographer is taking a picture of somebody, and somebody, because they're not paying attention to what's going on or they don't care, just walks right in the middle of the shot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've seen that time and time again. It's just like, you see these people taking pictures, just walk around them, not through them.
Right.
Be courteous.
Mm-hmm.
I once, funny story with the photo pass, my wife and I did an anniversary trip, and the guy did scanned my magic band, took our photos. Ours didn't show up. The next family, their dozen photos, we got all of theirs. So I don't know if they got our photos. If we got, I don't know what happened with that. But
that stinks.
Wow.
I did not even get, because they're like, send a message. We sent the message. we never got those photos. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like we've never had those photos before. But could you imagine if this was your one trip and you got your family and you're all there, and now I got them. I got your family. You want your photos? I'll send them to you.
You know, Kurt, you say it doesn't matter, but it does matter because that's a trip. Those are memories from a particular trip.
Yeah, but this is our second time through the park, so we'd already had. My wife's like, "Are we really taking another photo?" I'm like, "Yes, we're really taking another photo." So we were hot, we were tired. She's like, "I am not going to look good in that photo." It didn't show up, and she goes, "See, it's karma." And I'm like, "Yeah, but now this poor family, we've got all their photos." So,
yeah, you know, another pet peeve I have are people that have to push their way through. You want to push your way through to be the first one there. Go ahead, I don't care. But it's like really, why? Take your time, relax, enjoy your surroundings. You'll get there. So you might not be the first one there. You might be the third one there, the fifth one there. You'll get there.
You get there, yeah.
But people have to push and shove.
Yeah, no. One of my pet peeves too is when you're going up to a quick service, be prepared. Know what you want to order.
Yeah.
yeah, don't get in line until you know what you want, people.
Doesn't take 20 minutes to order.
No.
Stand back, stay out of the way. My wife will even say, they'll be calling us over, and I'm like, I don't know what I want. And they're like, next people. I'm like, go by.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the nice thing about the app now. Just order the food on your app when you're ready and go and pick it up instead of making everyone wait in line.
Yeah, I've seen that way too often.
Yeah.
The other thing with that, everyone going to one side, and then they get annoyed when you walk past them and go to the left-hand side that no one was at. And they're like, what? You can't do it. It's open. It's open. Go. Walk behind me if you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So not knowing the rules of etiquette of both sides are open, please fill all the available space.
1 second, I got a little visitor here.
Uh-oh.
Big visitor. Come on.
He's not little.
Got a big one, and I got the little guy sitting on my lap.
And mine's up on the bed with my wife asleep right now, so I can't even grab him.
There he is.
He's like, I do not want to sit in your
forget
lap.
about it. He's like, I'm going with Mom. I want to be on TV.
It wouldn't be a show without Bernie here.
Hey, Bernie.
And Cogsworth.
Bernie does not look happy, though. Bernie, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah,
You heard
Bernie.
Uncle Stewart say your name.
Bernie's like,
huh?
it's past my bedtime, and you guys are still on this.
Oh,
TV.
you know what
I
he did
wanted
to me last night? I was up. It was a little after 2. And he comes into the office here. He got out of bed in the bedroom, comes into the office here, and he's like looking at me. I'm like, well, what do you want? He wanted me to go to bed.
Yeah.
That's probably what this one wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog is up on my bed right now, laying next to my wife, right in the middle of where I sleep. And when I walk up there, he'll lift his head, look at me, grunt, and move over because he knows otherwise I'm going to push him out of the way. But he'll get mad about it. But
Yeah.
pushy little runt.
Yeah. I have a feeling in a couple of minutes he'll jump off and want me to let him out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
he'll
let's go ahead.
Yeah, it's nice having him around most of the time.
Lottie has the same problem, only it's 3 little girls going, Mom, Mom.
Yeah, they're arguing right now. Surprised you can't hear them.
No.
They should be in bed.
By the way, Lottie and Kyle have the best girls you could
Me
ever
too.
ask for. They really do. You want an example of good parents and what you should do and how you should raise your children. Lottie and Kyle are it.
Because we threaten them. You're not getting in public and embarrass me.
Well, see, my kids always behaved well around the other people because otherwise they knew we were going to embarrass them with making a comment. They're like, I got to behave or Dad's going to be embarrassing me with some comment about something that I did.
No, really, what it is, I really appreciate the compliments to it, but it is we are big on teaching our children the importance of caring for others and for gratitude.
Yep.
You're not the only person on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Think about others and be grateful because there are kids who you've been to Disney World several times. You've been on a Disney cruise. There are kids that have never left Michigan before. You know, like
Yeah.
you should be grateful.
Yeah, not a pet peeve, but that's something that bothers me too. That not everyone can afford to go to Disney, and
Right.
and at least the current present CEO of Disney is aware of that. But it's unfortunate that more and more people are getting priced out of the parks.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
ones that are there's some entitled folks and their entitled behaviors, and that's one of my pet peeves. Don't get mad because the park is crowded. You decided to go on Christmas Day. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Hey,
wholeheartedly agree with that.
Mhm.
I've had people come back and tell me they hated the trip. They spent all this money and it was crowded and this and that. And I'm like, did you do any research first? Well, we went on President's Weekend because we'd have the extra day.
you went on
You
spring
don't think
break.
the rest of the world didn't want to do the same thing?
Yeah, right.
Come
It's a
on.
holiday weekend. You decide to go then because you have 3 days off. So does everybody else.
President's Day weekend is the only time Genie Plus ran out.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
Why
We're-
do you
we're-
think no one else is going to show up?
You know, I
I'm
know-
angry because it rained.
all right.
Yes. Yes, it rained. I got wet.
It,
And
yes,
it's only supposed to rain for 1 hour in Florida. That's what they said. It's
Test
not supposed
track
to rain all day.
Test track is closed because it rained. I want my money back.
Or how about the people that pay hundreds of dollars for the VIP tour, and they have no clue what Disney is like because they're on this VIP tour,
I know, right?
and it's just like, but they'll complain about how much money they spent.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
told you to spend that? You know what? If you spent that money to have that kind of trip and you can afford it, okay, fine, good for you. That's not real life, though.
Oh,
Stuart's biggest pet peeve is when people talk about how much they love Disney, and when he asks them what's your favorite attraction, they say Gringotts.
Oh boy, I don't know how to respond to that one.
oh, if they say Gringotts, then they got problems. That's nobody. It should not be anybody's favorite.
No.
I do like the dragon on the top. That was pretty cool. But
Like,
yeah, I literally have had kids tell me that this was my favorite attraction. This is my favorite part. I'm like, okay. Hope you enjoyed it. Or they hate Disney because that's for little kids. Did you go? No, it's all for little kids.
Mhm.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
heard that from people too.
That's
It's
for
little
babies.
kids. I won't go on
Okay.
a cruise. It's for little. It's for adults only, not kids.
my kids at a ball.
Yeah, or the part. Yeah, it's like it's people who there are people who don't understand it and never will. And you know what? It's their loss. All right, we got any more pet peeves? Cogsworth's trying to go to sleep real.
Yeah, he's trying there.
Did Cogsworth like get himself under the blanket?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's a trained professional.
That's a dog
He's a
thing.
burrower.
Yeah. And Bernie does that at night too. He'll get under the blanket, then it gets too hot, and it's like, and he's got to get out from under.
The whole bed is rocking because he's huffing because he's so hot.
Yeah. Oh, he'll like push me over so he can get, because we normally have a blanket like for him to get on. So he'll like flip it around and he'll have to get it tucked around underneath his chin so he has something to rest it on because the mattress is too hard.
Just explain if anybody's listening for the first time or doesn't know. Darlene's dog is Cogsworth. My dog is Bernie, and we're talking about our pet dogs.
Yeah, they always come in to visit us.
Yep.
They're good boys.
Yep.
That's what happens when your kids move out. They're your new kids.
Yeah.
True.
We'll get this one of these days, Lottie. It's still a while for both of us, I have a feeling.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Although I know Darlene's vowed this, and I have too. This is the last pet I'll have.
Yes, I have said that it's too tough to go through the loss.
Yeah, that's part of it. It's also it takes a lot of effort. There, it's like having a toddler in your house 24/7.
Correct.
And I love animals. It's like I've grown up with animals. I've always had pets, but as your life changes, you get older, you go through different it's not that it gets harder to take care of them. It's just that your interests are elsewhere and you can't give them 100% that they want. And if you do give them 100%, which we are doing, you have to make sacrifices so you're not doing everything you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You're lucky your grandson left that room.
Yeah.
Poor Bernie.
All right, I got one more left on my list.
All right.
Okay. What
Okay,
is
bring it.
Bad hotel etiquette.
Bad
Like-
hotel etiquette.
Yes.
Okay.
When you're the folks in the hotel, the kids, especially this is more common at the value resorts than it is at the moderate or deluxe
I
resorts.
know where you're going. Yep.
Running up and down the hallways,
Yep.
constant noise,
Mhm.
banging
Slamming
on
the doors.
slamming the doors. Yeah,
Screaming, jumping on the beds.
It got so bad. The trip with Charlotte, it got so bad on that trip that we actually asked to be moved to a different room.
Well, and our last trip down there, they moved us when it was just my wife and I, and we stayed at Pop Century. And they're like, "Oh, it'll be close. It'll be close." They moved us to all the way out at the very end of the 90s, and all these rooms were empty. And I mentioned how it was our 25th anniversary trip, and I was kind of disappointed because of how far we were away from everything. And then the more I thought about it, I wonder if they stuck us all the way out there at the end, so we wouldn't have to deal with everything you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Because all these people that I want a pool room view. Look at the reviews, people. You do not want a pool room view.
No.
People are out there until midnight.
yes. And
Screaming at the pool.
That's even when it's like 50, 40 degrees because the pools are
Heated pools.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love all the resorts at Disney, from the value to the deluxe. They're very different. They all have their own character, their own style. But Lottie, you're absolutely right. It's like the value resorts, for whatever reason, it's kids just run amok.
Yeah, they do. They
Around
do.
the cafeteria areas, just
Yep.
Mhm.
you got to think about that when you're planning your trip. You
Absolutely.
want to save money by staying at a value resort,
Right.
yeah, sometimes just knowing it's going to be more peaceful is worth the few extra bucks for
Right.
Yep.
a moderate.
Yeah, if you can afford a little bit of an upgrade from the value resort and you want peace and quiet,
Do it.
Orleans French Quarter is the perfect place to go.
Right.
I mean, hey, I was the first one to say the value resorts of old versus what they are now, night and day.
Mhm.
They are beautiful resorts on the inside since they've redone them. It's a beautiful room.
And the food courts are good.
The food court is awesome.
Mhm.
Great food. It's everyone else that's there, not everyone, but several of the other families that are there. I shouldn't feel like I'm about to be knocked off the balcony by these 8-year-old kids running by and elbowing me as they're running past me to get away from their friend who's squirting them with a squirt gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind
We're
you.
at Great Wolf Lodge. That's what they think.
Right.
And they're the
Right.
wolves.
Yeah.
Right. So have some common courtesies for
Yeah.
others that are around you.
Does anybody have anything else on their list?
No, I piggybacked off of everything.
No, I
Lottie
think
said.
I
Just
think I
wanted to
got
be
everything now. Yeah.
I know there was one I forgot. I didn't have it written down. I know there's one I forgot. I can't remember what it was. Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is? It's the people that complain about the Earl of Sandwich. There's an evil sandwich queen somewhere
That is
that
not
doesn't
it.
like it.
Oh.
That's not it.
We tease Lottie about that if you don't
Yes.
know, because she's just not a fan of the sandwiches.
No,
That's okay.
You know, I don't know how she doesn't like Via Napoli pizza either.
It's those Detroit people.
Yep.
By the way, if you're a member of Sam's Club right now, I don't know if this is the regular price. You could go in there. Actually, you don't have to be a member. Their pizza, fresh out of the oven, 16-inch round pie is $8.98.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And you can get it with pepperoni. I think it's a 4-meat pizza, cheese pizza. Or you can just stop and get a slice. They do not care if you're a member or not if you go there to eat. You can get, I think it's a hot dog and a soda for less than $2. Same thing with a slice of pizza and a soda. Good deal. Just wanted to mention
one final thing. It's not in the parks. It's the forums that you're dealing with sometimes. The trolls.
Yeah.
My sister was all excited. I don't know if you guys know, but they're actually going to start this summer selling Dole Whips in the freezer section of your grocery store.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
And I sent it to my sister, and she was really excited. And she said she saw somewhere on the forum someone was complaining because, well, that's it. Dole Whip is leaving Disney. And everyone's like, why? Well, you can get them in your, if you can get them there at your grocery store, why would people buy them here in the parks? I go, I can buy a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar at my grocery store. Yep. It doesn't taste anything like the Mickey Mouse ice cream bar I'm buying in the park. So that's such a negative. No more Debbie Downers.
I'm not against the Dole company selling, or whoever it is that's selling the Dole Whip supermarket. Yeah. I don't believe it'll be anywhere the same as it would be in the parks. Would I get it? No, because I'm down here. I can go to the parks pretty much any time and get one. But if I But if I lived in Montana or Idaho or Seattle, and I couldn't get to the parks often, I'm going to the grocery store. And I know the Mickey bars in the grocery store are not the same, but if it's the best,
they're smaller and it costs more.
Right, it's the best thing to getting what's in the parks, just to give yourself a little bit of that magic away from the park.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. That's all it is to it. Every once in a while, because they're up to like $8.75. Every once in a while, I'll buy the Mickey Mouse bars just because I need that fix. Otherwise, and these aren't going to be as good because it's not soft serve coming out of those containers. It's not going to be as good. So
now speaking of rumors, I don't like to spread rumors or anything, but speaking of rumors, I heard a rumor, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Adam Silver, possibly the new Disney CEO after Iger. He's the NBA commissioner.
Oh,
he's a great person, wonderful, wonderful commissioner. I just don't see that happening.
He knows how to deal with adolescents.
Yeah, I don't know who the next president CEO of Disney is going to be. I just don't see that happening. Doesn't mean it won't. It's.
I keep trying to tell Bob Iger that I'm available, and he's not responding to my calls.
Don't worry, DeSantis appoints someone. He'll appoint somebody.
Let's keep that out of this. I don't want to get political here with anything. I'll mention some to you off the air. It's like DeSantis has taken a lot of blame for this. It's not all his fault.
No.
And I'm not agreeing with anything he did. Nothing whatsoever. I just don't want to.
He's just an easy target.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going there. I'm not going to get political. No. I was just making a joke about it. With what he did with Reedy Creek, that's the only reason why I made the joke. So.
Anybody else have any pet peeves we haven't discussed or they want to touch on? I know a lot of you had a very comprehensive list. We all kind of piggybacked off of it.
Yeah. No, she did a good job.
She did a great job.
Trying to think if there's anything that I was thinking of last.
I have a pet peeve. John's always going on vacation. He's never here anymore.
And he's always it's a Disney vacation. Kidding. Come on, John.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
It's like he's just running off to Italy or something. Not like they had it planned 3 times. And
yeah, I guess that's my last pet peeve is that I'm not at the parks right now.
I know.
You and me both.
Yeah. Me too. I'm blocked out this week.
Mm.
You don't want to be there. This
I already,
week.
yeah. I'll get back next week one day,
Mm-hmm.
maybe two. That's another thing I want to mention before you get out of here. Starting in April, we're going to be combining the news show with the regular show. So we'll record the night that we record the regular show, but we'll start off with the news part of it and then go into the regular broadcast. We might add in a second show here or there every now and then as well, but we'll see how that goes. Depends on the news. If there's a lot of news one week, we might have to do a separate news show. And the reason we're doing this is a selfish one. And it could be your pet peeve against us. I'm doing it because Darlene and I live down here. So does Jess, as a matter of fact. And right now we take up 2 nights of our week to do shows. And once April 18th comes around, we can get into the parks after 2 p.m. without a reservation. So this way it kind of frees up 1 extra night for us to go to the parks if we so choose to. So that's the selfish reason for it.
And we normally record on a Tuesday, which a lot of us really wouldn't probably go on a Monday. But if during seasonal performers at Epcot is why we want to do this, because
it's the
we
concerts.
might want to see them.
Right, and who's ever there Monday nights is usually there Tuesday nights, I think.
No, Sunday, Monday.
Oh, Sunday, Monday, okay. Yeah, so that's the reason we're doing this, so we can get to see some of these shows as well.
Yeah.
And the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
and other things. So
yeah.
Lottie, you feel that dagger in your back right there? Oh, it kind of hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
You know what? If you guys want to move down here, we do know a good realtor.
Yes, Victor Rocky will help you.
Yep, he will.
See at your doorstep.
Mm-hmm. I'm not moving to Florida for political reasons.
I've been told we are not moving to Florida. That's all I'm saying. And right now, I'm not old enough to move to Florida. I'll just leave it at that.
Funny.
Good golly.
It's a different way of life down here. It's there's the good and the bad. Speaking of bad, I'll give you a pet peeve of mine down here. People will smile, they'll be as nice as pie to you, and they'll tell you they're going to do something, we'll do this, we'll do that. It could be anything. Go to your bank, your doctor, it could be anywhere. And they F it up totally. Nobody knows how to do their job down here. But they're nice about it. They'll say it with a smile, and I just don't know how to do their job. It's nobody cares about their job. When I get to it, I'll get to it. When I do it, I do it. If I do it wrong, I don't care. You'll fix it for me, and then it'll be well.
It's the Florida way. It's very laid back. Lottie and I come from a fast-paced upper Midwest. When we want it done, we want it done. We want to go, and then all of a sudden it's like, why is everyone moving so slow? Like, unless they're on I-4, then they're doing 30 over the speed limit.
There's another. When I lived in New Jersey, I had to drive. At one point in my career, I had to drive to South Jersey for work. And when driving in South Jersey, you'd see a lot of out-of-state plates from Pennsylvania. The drivers down here are like Pennsylvania drivers. They're either very cautious and slow, or they're speed demons. But they're more reckless down here than they are anywhere else I've ever been. Even New York City, they are so reckless down here. They want to make a left-hand turn out of a right lane and go across 4 lanes, seven lanes. They'll go across 7 lanes, not look, and just go. No signal, just go.
We saw that today. We literally saw that today up here. So
you read about accidents with deaths every single week down here. Reckless drivers.
No fault insurance.
Yeah. Well, they have. I don't know how it is in your town, but in my town, Darlene, they've got these turns in the middle of nowhere. When I say the middle of nowhere, there's a light a quarter of a mile ahead, a light a quarter mile behind you, but then you can make a turn, and there's no place to like where are you turning? You can only make a U-turn there. You can't go left.
Correct.
Exactly.
Why do they have them?
Because there's no left turn at the light. You're supposed to go past the light and do the
No, there
U-turn.
is.
No, there is.
There is a
There
left
is.
turn at the light.
They thought it would be easier for people that needed to do a U-turn. Instead of doing a U-turn at a light, you do a U-turn beforehand to get into the businesses that are on that side.
Right.
Because there's so many,
Exactly.
we have mediums of grass everywhere.
I mean, you know what I think part of the problem too is down here, I don't think they expected the population that they have down here now to be like this when they approved those turns.
Yeah,
But it's here now, and it's dangerous. And
Yeah.
there are people that have
it is.
I'll-
exits from their development onto major roadways where there's no light, and they think it's perfectly fine to play Russian roulette and just dart across 7-8 lanes of traffic to get to the other side because there's no light there. And it's like, why not take a chance? Well, some people don't survive those chances.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All I'll say is when I took my wife for her first trip down there in 1994, we were driving from Inverness over to the parks. It was all orange groves. There weren't a lot of buildings. It was out in the middle of nowhere. You were an orange grove, young man. You were an orange grove.
Yeah.
All it took was one freeze, and people are like, "Here, my land is worth more to developers."
You know, the funny thing though is with all the land that's been developed down here, there's so much more land that can be developed. This ain't
that's
nothing yet.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're gonna finish up the show here.
Mhm.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you've got a pet park peeve that we haven't mentioned, please let us know what that is. Oh, I do want to mention one thing. I mentioned at the top of the show. I want to mention again. The cast members don't get enough credit for everything they have to go through.
No, they don't.
You know,
Right.
most people are respectful of the cast members, appreciate what they're there for, but there are those few who are the reasons we have these park pet peeves who are so disrespectful to the cast members, and they put up with so much. You know, I don't care if you just go up to a cast member and say thank you the next time you're in the parks. Just let them know you appreciate them. They really do their best for everybody.
Mhm.
They don't make a lot of money, and they're there for you.
Yeah.
They do it because they want to put a smile on your face. You know, so
And
help
you can
them
give a
put a
cast,
smile on their face.
you can give a guest compliment on
Yep.
the My
the
Disney
app.
Experience app.
Yep. Do it all the time.
Do it.
Yeah,
That's another
That's
pet
what you
peeve is
do.
being mean to cast members. Don't
absolutely.
do it.
You know, it's a good company doesn't start from the top and go and work its way down. A good company starts from the bottom and works its way up, and that's what Disney is. They've got people on the ground who are just as important as the people on top. And you know, I know the current regime does appreciate that, and we as guests of the park, we really appreciate that. So thank you guys. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
See you real soon.
Have a magical night. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of our Irish family and friends. And pack your sunscreen.